Corvo is returning early from a journey to find a cure to the horrid plague that infested Dunwall City. His early return comes as a surprise for everyone, and not everyone is happy about it. He gets dragged into a horrible plot against the Empress and their daughter. In this game you play as Corvo. He's the protagonist. He serves as the Emperor's royal protector. He has a close personal bond to the Empress and the Emperor's daughter, whose name is Emily. The city is experiencing a horrid plague that torments the citizens of the city. It's so horrid that other cities that's close to them has stopped trading with them and put them in a quarantine. Corvo's, the Empress, and Emily's life changed dramatically when a gang of shadow assassins assassinated the Empress and abducts Emily in front of Corvo. He fights them as hard as he can, but it's not enough. He is framed for the killing of the Empress and abduction of Emily. The Empress is basically stabbed in the back by her own men. Everyone that's high up in the city more or less wants her gone.
Corvo, it's all coming apart. Find Emily. Protect her. You're the only one who'll know what to do. Won't you? Corvo.
All that Corvo cares for in the world is now Emily. He doesn't care about anything else but getting Emily back and putting her on the throne. All through the game you get to follow Corvo in his fight to find Emily. The reason the Empress was killed and the reason behind Emily's abduction was for the military to gain control of the city. They wanted to get rid of the Empress and then put Emily on the throne in hopes of manipulating her into doing as they wish. Throughout the game, Corvo is contacted by the Outsider, a powerful being that resides within the void and is able to grant certain people powers. He grants Corvo these powers to help him in his search for Emily. And in the entire game you get into contact with him by completing challenges and gaining more powers, such as Blink, a teleportation power. Throughout the entire game the world is dark and full of sickness, and you can always hear rats running around and seeing rats eating people in huge packs or attacking them. Rats are the reason that the plague that torments the city is spreading. There's a lot of villains, antagonists in the game, people who conspire against Corvo and Emily. People who trick Corvo into thinking that they want the same thing, then betraying him, such as the Loyalist conspiracy that is led by Farley Havelock, Nobleman Trevor Pendleton, and Overseer Teague Martin. There is a lot of villains everywhere, but the one that is most interesting is Dodd. He is an assassin that is also touched by the Outsider, meaning he got some special powers as well. He is the leader of an assassin group named the Wailers. He is responsible for killing the Empress and kidnapping her daughter Emily. Dodd is also called the Knife of Dunwall. That's because he is Dunwall's most skilled assassin. The main genres of this game is action and fantasy. Action, well, you can notice that throughout the entire game. People are shooting everywhere, people are getting killed, you're killing people, or hitting people, or stabbing people, or anything like that. And then fantasy, because magic exists. Its essence is the Outsider, which is a magical being who resides in the void, and that's fantasy. So Dodd is the main antagonist. He's the leader of a group of assassins known as the Wailers that operates in Dunwall City. He's also called the Knife of Dunwall. He's responsible for the death of the Empress and kidnapping her daughter. Throughout the game you have barely no knowledge of his existence, other than you saw him killing the Empress. But at the end of the game-ish, you get to see him and fight him. You get to choose whether he lives or he dies. He explains to you what happened to him, with the Outsider that gave him the powers, and so on and so on. When you first meet you, the outsider, he talks to you in a dream. He grants you your first power of teleportation, called Link. He also marks you with his mark, and explains to you who he is, and what he thinks of you. When Corvo joins the Loyalist conspiracy, the ones that later betrays him, he meets Samuel Beechworth, the boatsman. He's the main source of transportation throughout the game. He and Corvo get to know each other. Samuel also cares a great deal for Emily, and only wants what's best for her. Samuel is affected by his choices in game. If you choose to create chaos by killing everyone, he thinks less of you. But if you choose the friendly way without killing people, he likes you more and more. He's actually a pretty big part of the game. Dishonored is a very open game, since you can choose how to play it, either by killing everyone in your way to find Emily, or you sneak past everyone, or just leaving them unconscious, still alive. And depending on how you do it, you get different endings. One is low chaos. It's basically when everything turns back to normal, and Emily is happy, and everyone's happy since, everyone's alive. And then the high chaos where Emily is, well, not very happy about Corvo, and everyone else is more like the citizen chaos, more or less. And then you can get the ending where you accidentally shoot Emily in the face, which you don't want to. So don't shoot her in the face. I really like this game. All the different approaches in the game, all the different endings, Emily's reactions to what you do, and also Samuel's reactions. How Emily changes depending on what you do, to the better or to the worst. But what I like best is the part where if you don't like violence, you don't have to use violence to complete the game. You can play it sneaky and avoid it all. So it's a game that fits most people, since you can be the good guy or the bad guy.